The SJW war is something that's been going on for a long time at this point. But right now, it's more heated than ever. It's a word that you see get thrown around a lot more nowadays, and for good reason. But we're getting ready to get into this, so if you haven't really understood what this whole SJW business is about, what it really means, or what's going on, why are people freaking out, or maybe if you're just stumped over it and you kind of do understand, then this video might be for you, because in this video I'm going to try to explain this topic a little better than I feel most people have, because I feel this is a topic with a mass amount of confusion and misunderstanding and misinformation being spread all over the place. So with that being said, I'm going to try my best to break it down here for you. First things first, what's a SJW? So, a SJW is a social justice warrior. But wait, don't jump too quick, because if you do, you will make the mistake many people make in thinking that people are referring to actual people who are fighting for social justice movements and stuff. When you hear someone say that term SJW, it's a sarcastic term that actually means the opposite. SJW is a term that refers to people within these social justice communities who are considered the extremists. They go to the extreme and they ultimately end up hurting the movements in various ways instead of actually helping them. It's very important to understand that because, you know, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to that, and I'm going to get into why that's so important a little bit later on in this video. But overall, the best way to describe a SJW is an extremist when it comes to things, when it comes to topics such as sex or race or ethnicity, sorry, I can't talk right now, culture, any of those things. So it's very important to understand that these people are extremists. They take these topics to the extreme, and they ultimately end up making very weak arguments about them. So with that being said, now you know what a social justice warrior is. So now you have the basic idea of what they are, but what about their tactics? And it's important to talk about their tactics because this is what really defines them as a SJW, and this is where a lot of people tend to use the word at. So with that being said, SJW's tactic is usually to inject social agendas into everything, no matter what it is, whether it be music or a video game or a movie or a TV show, a letter, a speech, whatever. They'll find a way to inject their politics into it. And I don't mean in a good way where they do something nice like support the gay community or support women's rights or colored people or whatever. I'm not talking about social politics like that. I'm talking about to the point where these people come out, they sound like extremists, they say the most wild things that actually push people away from all these different movements instead of bringing more people in. Let's use movies for example. So if an SJW director, for instance, wink wink, gets his hands on a movie, what he's going to probably end up doing, he's going to put all these messages that seem like they're really good messages, and that technically are really good messages, such as women can be strong too, or animal cruelty things and stuff like that, or rich versus poor arguments, wink wink. But you know, they'll find time to put those type of things into the movie, but then they'll forget the basic principles of making that movie, such as developing the characters so the audience will care about them, giving the characters something to struggle over. They'll forget about structure and pacing. They'll forget to build up a good main villain so that their movies can continue on, or so that if they're having, I don't know, like a series of movies or something, that they'll have something to build off of. They just completely forget all about this, and they forget to do all these really important things because they were so worried about pushing all these social politics, to the point where the movie itself isn't even good. It's very messy, it feels very empty, and it overall is a very weak product. So that's just an example of what SJW might do. But then we're not done with the tactics, because SJW's tactics don't stop there. Because of course, if someone's doing this kind of stuff, then obviously the world has enough smart people for somebody to step up and speak up about it, right? But when you try to argue against the SJW, and when you try to say that you don't like this, you might even disagree very mildly, very kindly and respectfully even, and SJW will probably turn around, point at you, and do something like call you a sexist or a racist or a homophobic or something like that, because you didn't agree with a certain part or a certain thing. Or they'll say all kind of wild stuff, like about how you may have paid money to come and see my movie or watch my show or play my game or whatever, but you're not a real fan, you're not a real customer, you're someone who thinks you can tell me how to do my job or whatever. That's the kind of things SJWs would do. SJWs are people who try to act so woke and they try to act like they're so wise and everything, but they ultimately sound insane at times. So yeah, that's basically what a SJW's tactics are. Like, I mean, basically, to break it down even simpler for you, inject their social politics and everything, and attack and crucify anybody who disagrees with them even a little bit. So those are the tactics of a SJW, and that's what people are hating on so much in the entertainment industry right now. So at this point in the video, if you're still not completely understanding what a SJW is, don't feel too bad. There are a ton of different ways I could sit here and describe them to you, but it would take all day. It honestly would, because there's so many different instances, so many different examples I could use. But at the end of the day, the last little thing I'll leave you with is that a SJW is usually on the far left. Like, they are usually extremely far left, and they take it, like I said, to the most extremes, to the radical. And I hope I don't have to explain the problem with that to most people, but just in case I do, if you don't understand what's wrong with being on the far left or whatever, just think about this. There's a reason we have laws and rules and guidelines in almost everything we do and almost everywhere we go, whether it be our homes, at work, in our cities, our towns, our countries. There's a reason we have all of these guidelines, and one of the main reasons out of all of those is that us as human beings, we have learned from the past that we cannot be trusted with too much freedom. We cannot be trusted to do the right thing. We cannot be trusted to be good and be fair to each other. So with that being said, that is why too much freedom can be a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any freedom or lack of freedom or anything like that. I'm just saying there is a point where we get to too much and where you have to kind of back off a little. So with that being said, that's the best way I can explain this mess to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave likes and comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Tell me what you guys all think down below in the comments, and I will see you guys on the next one. ZFR out.